Welcome back to Hot Thoughts with Getty Greens, a podcast where we spark up for real conversations from cannabis culture with muggles to intellectual conversations of everything in between. I'm your host, Agent K, and with me is my partner in Puff,
Chronic Queen. Today, we are rolling deep into the world of Diddy, or That Nigga Combs, the music mogul, business boss, and the man of drama himself. Today, we are gonna be talking about how the darkness comes to light with these big name celebrities and those that control them.
So, Chronic Queen, are you ready for this deep dive into the Dilla?
And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no.
So, Agent K, checking in. How's it going?
Stressing out over this was stressing out over this script.
This is by far probably one of the most in-depth, or not one of the most in-depth episode that we've done so far. And it's gonna be diving into Agent K's expertise,
which is, I like pop culture.
And then my expertise, which is like more conspiracy stuff and digging into the back end of things.
I'm about to eat this edible. It is Sunrise Cannabis.
Oh, it's a milk chocolate bar. It's 1,000 milligrams THC for the whole bar, and there's 20 pieces. So each piece, I did the math and figured out that each piece is 50 milligrams. Because this heifer over here, Agent K, done ate 4 pieces without doing the math to know what the dose is.
And I just ate it. I ate that shit. I surely went to work too.
And I am like, I'll just eat one piece, thanks. And
I'll eat one piece now.
Had a horrible freaking situation for sure. Was not happy about it. Didn't have anything on my stomach that day, and it shows. So,
girl, hold on. I had work. Not only did I take 4 pieces, but I also, before I took those 4 pieces, not even thinking about it, I had cake.
Right.
I had an edible cake.
Ate the edible.
I'm about to eat this damn edible.
To eat the damn edible. Okay. She's eating 1 square, guys.
Yeah, take that. Yeah, 1 square, because
Hey, this is a Diddy episode. You can't be talking about take that.
Your cherry M3 bang every MC easily.
Take that.
Recently.
All right. So.
Listen, I was not born around.
Yeah, so you don't know all the things.
Don't.
That's fine.
I was only introduced to obviously I was introduced to all of them. But
you was definitely...
The main song was fucking that Keisha Cole, goddamn.
Yeah, that was
song.
A banger. I'm sorry. That was a banger.
Even get an answer. I tried to call, but my pride wouldn't let me die. And I'm sitting here with this blank expression. And the way I feel, I wanna curl up like a child.
Yeah, well, he was definitely telling on himself about that for sure. Try to call, but the phone wouldn't let me dial.
What did he say after that?
I don't remember, but Keisha Cole was also telling on herself.
She said, I'm so lonely.
No, she said, that is...
That's what she said.
In that song?
She said, I'm so lonely.
I don't remember that. I remember,
I
need you.
At the end?
You need me.
Bro.
It is so plain to see, and I would never know.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. By the way, I know we're jumping back and forth, but the chocolate actually, y'all, the weed chocolate is nasty. Like, I can't wait till, weed is all the way 100% federally legal so that we can get some Hershey chocolate or some Ghirardelli chocolate that's paired up with some weed. That would be great. Just saying, I'd love to put that out there in the universe, so just did it.
Make our own chocolate, bro.
I'm down for trying that. Let's do it. If we make some good ones, y'all, we'll put them up on the website. Okay, so check in for me. Okay, check in for me. Check in for Chronic Queen. The check in in, guys, is that I'm kind of excited about doing this episode as we've been planning it for a while, and more and more information came out, and then we started going down more and more rabbit holes, and the episode just got crazy. So
I had to put a stop to it. My rabbit holes.
Well, actually, it was her episode that she was supposed to be writing anyway, the script for, y'all. So she actually had to be like, no, I'm going to put my foot down and do this, and she finally did. And so then I was like, I'll do my part. And between her part and my part, we've got a good 12 pages of Diddy nonsense. Oh yeah, I do.
Ooh, thank you. I thought I was going crazy. I thought I put it in my bra. I was like,
telling everybody
this.
the business. Oh my God.
So, you know how many women are money in their bra?
I know, and that's still disgusting because, hey, I don't give a fuck how clean a woman you are. You still have boob sweat, okay? That's disgusting.
I feel that. I don't put money in my bra.
Okay, anyway, before I was rudely interrupted by boob sweat. That's enough of that shit. So, today, it's time to get into today's episode.
You unlock the story with the click of a headline. Beyond it lies another realm. A realm where celebrity, power, and mystery intertwine in ways unseen by the ordinary eye. This is the twilight between fame and infamy, where every headline is a question and every answer leads to more shadows. You've just entered the Diddy zone.
I don't want to be here. Imagine, if you will, a man who stands tall in the limelight, a titan of music, fashion, and culture. But beneath the glitz and glamour lies another story. One not written in the tabloids, but whispered in dark alleys and late night radio shows. I was like,
why are you laughing?
Because late night radio shows like we're in the fucking 50s.
Yes, time is fluid.
What happens when the larger than life becomes larger than truth itself? When the persona becomes a mask for secrets too deep to comprehend.
Elusive and fleeting. One moment it's there, clear as day. The next it fades like smoke, leaving behind only rumors, speculation, and questions. You see, in the world of the rich and famous, reality can be as malleable as a perfectly crafted PR spin.
Tonight's headline, Sean Diddy become an icon in the daylight. But what does he hide in the shadows? Is it mere gossip, or are we about to unearth something far more mysterious? Step closer, but tread carefully. For in this world, not everything is as it seems. This is gonna be like all the shit that he be saying.
Because he be talking too damn much.
Man, and he be in everybody's videos. Suge Knight said that shit way back in 95.
I know.
He said, you don't want your producer to be all in the video.
I know, and he said that. I was like, Diddy. I didn't have to say, he didn't have to say not a damn thing.
Back in the day, we used to call him Shiny Suit Man because in all of his videos when he was coming up, they was all dressed in like foil.
Yeah, they were. He said they were dressed in like foil.
They were.
Okay, now we're
getting serious.
Light that shit up.
Lighting that shit up. What is this shit, by the way?
It's a smorgasbord of roaches.
This is a smorgasbord of roaches.
And then maybe a little bit of whatever the fuck is on my tray.
So this is another blunt brought to you by Roach Blunt. A smorgasbord of roaches, if you will. Along with whatever the fuck is on my tray.
Sounds great.
We're professional weed connoisseurs. So, anyway, Agent K.
Let's set the stage. Okay. It's the early 90s. There's a young black man, Sean John Combs.
Damn, I can't believe you said his full government name like that. Go ahead.
Full government name. Just getting started in the music world. Backup dancing wasn't enough. He wanted more. He wanted power and control. The music industry, with all its glitz and glamour, looked like a dream, and Sean knew he had the drive to grab it because he wanted it. Then along came Andre Harrell. He saw that spark in Sean, that hunger, and maybe even seeing himself in that young man. He gave him a shot in the 1990s as an intern at Uptown Records, as he was just a college student at Howard University. Just at 20 years old, Sean finally got his foot in the door. Intern or not, he was going to make his mark somehow. So he was learning it all, how to manage, how to lead, studied how to craft the art of being in charge of artists. But here's where it gets interesting.
While Sean was soaking up all that knowledge, he started feeling restricted, maybe even feeling like he was being undercut for the role that he was playing. Or maybe he thought that Andre Harrell was limiting his full potential. Harrell had the reins on creativity at Uptown, and Sean had visions that went well beyond those limits. So what did Sean do? He got fired. I wish I could confirm if it was on his day off. And in true Combs fashion, he didn't let that stop him. You gotta tell him no. Actually, I think Andre Harrell just proved that point. He was like, no, Diddy, you're not gonna do that. I'm gonna do it anyway, Andre. You're fired. You're fired. Within 2 weeks, he turned that so-called failure into something bigger, his own label, Bad Boy Records, in 1994. And just like that, Sean Combs wasn't just following the music industry's rules, he was rewriting them. He brought over talent from Uptown and found fresh faces, new voices in hip-hop, giving them the shot at stardom they deserved, with him right behind them, lifting them up. You're gonna take
in
that
this
part?
moment,
Yep.
Sean Combs didn't just change the game. He became the game.
Ooh, that's good writing right there. He became the game.
Let's take... Oh my gosh. Let's take a trip back to the 90s, where Sean Diddy Combs was more than just a name. He was a gatekeeper to success. He brought us legends like Notorious B.I.G., Mary J. Blige, Lil' Kim, Mace, Craig Mack, and the list goes on and on and on. Also, let's add Faith Evans, because Notorious and Faith Evans were together. So,
right. Can't say one without
Can't
the
say
other.
one without the other.
And since you adding people to the list, I'm going to add somebody to the list too, because
Okay.
I like 112. So.
Oh yeah, 112. Forgot about that. I always forget about 112. Anyway, where was I? Back then, Diddy wasn't just producing hits. He was a kingmaker. Building careers.
Martin Luther the King.
Oh my gosh. Excuse me. Building careers and laying the foundations for some of the greatest artists of our time. But didn't stop with music. No, as years went on by, Sean expanded his empires. He moved beyond the studios, making power moves under Combs Enterprises in 2013, but in 2023 he rebranded it as Combs Global, the umbrella of all his ventures, which are lots if you ever look them up.
Lot.
It looked...
Which, I'm going to interrupt you real quick. That's not unusual for people who own record labels.
No.
So that is, he's playing the role. And not only is he playing the role, but he's becoming just as big a boss as any of the other record execs and stuff like that.
He's trying to make he's playing his own game.
Right. He was Ready Player One originally.
Oh my god. He's the first player.
The first player.
It looked like a man in control, a mastermind pulling all the strings, but here's the question. Was it all for the success of his artist, or was it something darker at play? After all, when you look closer, the lines between support and control start to blur.
East Coast versus West Coast. That was our era.
Oldies.
If you were there, you already know that Diddy wasn't just watching from the sidelines. He was right in the thick of it, stirring the pot like a master chef. And now the streets are buzzing with conspiracy theories. Yeah, I'm talking whispers about his hand in some of the most notorious deaths in hip-hop. Tupac, the hit 'em up king, and Biggie Smalls, the who shot ya legend. But listen, that's a whole other podcast, because trust me, y'all ain't ready for that smoke. What we need to get into right now, the legacies of these monumental icons. Their names still cast shadows over the industry, even from beyond the grave. Their souls, their stories, still being sold like prime real estate while they rest in peace. See, back in the day, we didn't just listen to their music. We felt it. That raw energy hit different. It was alive, pulsing through the airwaves like electricity. But now, the game's changed. It ain't about the music anymore. Nah, it's about the puppet masters behind the labels, the owners, the ones cashing in on names that still hold power like gold. The art, it's been pushed to the back seat, replaced by dollar signs and shady deals. So let's call it like it is. They're still getting paid. But what about the culture? What about the soul of the music?
Now, let's be real. Today's rappers like Kendrick and Drake, they have their little spats.
And that's what we can call them.
But they didn't even scratch the surface of the epic Tupac and Big versus Biggie saga.
Man.
Sure, their feuds give us a taste of drama because we like that shit. But back in the day, it wasn't about, chart numbers or trending hashtags. Lyricism ruled the airwaves. And today, it's all about algorithm and who liked what and who saw
what's trending.
what and who's doing a TikTok dance.
Right.
But enough about that. Let's talk about the real character of the hour.
The diddler.
Yeah, we said it. There's a riddle wrapped in a mystery with this man. And honestly, he's giving straight up horror movie vibes.
Man.
From what I've pieced together, he's got one of the creepiest, timelines, and now becoming one of the creepiest creeps in this time.
In our era.
Time.
Yeah.
Right now. It's like he wandered off a dark Hollywood set and never looked back. Ever. Unless he's looking at someone else to, diddle.
To diddle. The fact that diddle is now going to be in the urban
And don't even get me started on the shadowy figures behind him, the names we aren't supposed to know yet. But hey, y'all know how this works. What's hidden in the dark always finds its way to the light. So let's start peeling back those layers and see what the diddler's really been up to. Because, trust me, there's a lot more lurking beneath the surface than it meets the eye, because they're still coming out with stuff.
Yeah, like daily. And on that note, Agent K is going to be rolling some blunts while I get really deep into the underbelly of this whale. This feels like a deep dive into some shit. And we are definitely needing to be high for this roller coaster of information. Shit. So much so that I had to switch to another doc.
No, literally. Okay.
All right. For this next part, we are going to be initiating our listeners into the syndicate of the High Council. Here's how you can participate, listeners. I'm going to light this candle. And as I light this candle, you too can light a candle. If you don't have a candle, light some incense. Turn your stove on. Get your Bix in the air. Just be ready to be illumined.
Or your flashlight.
If you're into that, I guess. I mean, if you have the glow sticks,
yeah,
do
that
that.
Works.
Do that. Just something that needs to light up, okay? All right, so this one's hard-headed. Okay, got it. Okay. Anyway, we have the candle is lit.
Smells like strawberries.
This is a Bath and Body Works strawberry pound cake scented candle made with natural essential oils. That's what's on the label. So that's what we have, and that is lit. So now here we go into the initiation. We are igniting the light of truth. The light of truth will glow with honesty, will illuminate veracity, will radiate with authenticity, and shine with the brightness of sincerity. Now I'm going to relight the blunt that I am currently smoking on the candle of truth. That's the sound effect of lighting it on the candle of truth. And you too, light your blunt or wherever y'all.
Do it
or
right
smoke
now.
your vape.
Right now.
Or whatever.
Right now.
So
smoke. I'm not even smoking yet. I just breathe.
we're choking on the truth, guys.
What?
We're choking on the truth. Now, it's my serious professor voice about to come up. Alright, there you go. Thank you for the inhale, exhale, because I couldn't do it. Sorry, guys. Before we get into this part of the show, I need to give you guys some background information on secret societies.
Secret societies.
Okay, this might be the part of the show where you guys now hear how, out there my theories and stuff are. And so, just know that it's gonna get crazier here on out with these episodes, because now this has broken open the seal of conspiracy theories. And I have a lot of them, and I'm not even talking about the current ones, and we ain't even about to get into all that for plenty of reasons that we won't get into in the show.
Yeah.
But now, as I say that, talking about giving you background information on secret societies, some names probably are running through your head. Freemasons, Illuminati, and maybe even Skull and Bones. While those all do have its place, and we will be dedicating a show to those pieces of knowledge individually, today we are going to be focusing in on the entertainment industry's role in these things, these entities, these secret societies. societies, if you will. In my perspective, the Illuminati is the underlying organization behind everything. They are the entity pulling all the strings, forcing the illusion on us all. These are the elite who have the blessing of unlimited financial resources, whose family was able to send them to Ivy League for education and networking purposes. These are the people who have the most money in their bank accounts, who fund all of our infrastructure and pull the levers of political power.
Pull the lever, crunk. Sorry.
While us laymen's think of the Illuminati as maybe one group of an elite cabal, the truth is the Illuminati is spread out to all aspects of our lives and through various secret societies. There are people who are part of the Illuminati in politics, in our churches, in our schools, in our legal and justice system. Some of our bosses, some of our judges, some of our doctors or pastors are in some cases even our spouses. It is secret after all, and most people have some skeletons in their closet. So the entire intent of this group of elite is to control the masses. While the plans are done in secret, these are actually acted out in public. Sometimes it's done by lulling us with entertainment, and other times it's done by chaos, and essentially showing a way through the chaos. But ultimately is always done with the intent of taking away your choices, your power, your voice, and your freedoms. Now that we have the general bite-sized understanding of the Illuminati, we are going to move on to more nefarious sounding undertones and how it connects to Diddy. We have just discovered that the Illuminati permeates all aspects of our life. And while there is no written source code of knowledge for what or how they do things, there are clues to sources of organization in a context of understanding. The Illuminati itself is to be seen as an underlying organization, much like an umbrella company, or as we have seen in many industries, a group holding company. Like if you think about it, like for example, Red Lobster and Olive Garden and Lone Star, they're all under Darden Industries, and that's the restaurant holding group for all those restaurants. And there's a couple of other ones that go along with that, but also in real estate, they have holding companies that also like help with developing things like that. So these are common terms in business that we're used to hearing. So that's why I'm saying that they're kind of like a holding company in the underlying organization and stuff like that. But the foundational elements are built more like the Freemasons. Freemasons are the most known unknown of this puzzle. Most people in society have heard of Freemasons or had some sort of dealing with someone they know being a Freemason. Sure. Recently, they seem to be more public about the parts of their society which are already more well known, but beware, this is just the tip of the iceberg and the part that is seen. There is an entire can of worms that can be dug into regarding the Freemasons, but the part I am choosing to focus on is the structure of hierarchy and the initiations or rituals behind them. So, hierarchy. First, let's understand there are thousands of versions of Freemasonry, usually separated by what we call a rite, which is R-I-T-E, which when you look up the definition of is already referring to a ceremony, ritual, or customary practice. Keep that in mind as we keep discussing this. The majority, as in like 95% of all Freemason rites, only have 3 degrees of knowledge. These are called Blue Lodges, and the degrees are Entered Apprentice, Fellow Craft, and Master Mason. These degrees are also based on the levels of brick builder masons, like people who actually build shit with bricks. They're called masons. So it's based off of that structure of I was gonna say industry. Yeah. Like like carpenters have levels, engineers have levels, like these brick builder masons have levels, and those are the levels, okay? And almost all the symbology comes back to that, meaning the brick builder masons in some form. For example, the square and the cone. compass. The most known Freemason rite, which has 33 degrees of knowledge, is the Scottish Rite. Anything past the 3rd degree are considered appendant degrees and can be sought after for additional enlightenment and educational purposes. The French Rite has 7 degrees, 3 of which are symbolic and 4 that are philosophical. And the York Rite has 12. So that's just a little bit actually to wet your whistle about. Well, I mean, just about Freemasonry. It's not just what your friend who's wearing the ring tells you about, because they probably only know so much. So there's a lot more to the organization. Something else to note is that there are people in our population right now who have only gone as far as the 3rd degree, walking around saying they are a Master Mason, not even knowing the same level of information that someone that is a 32nd or 33rd degree Scottish Rite Mason will know. The main initiation ritual for Freemasons is based on Hiram Abiff. Hiram was the Master Mason builder who built Solomon's temple. As the quick version of the story goes, when the temple was near completion, Hiram was accosted by 3 other fellowcraft level Masons who were demanding the secrets of the Master Mason. Hiram would not tell the secret, and all 3 of these fellow craft Masons hit him at the base of the skull or back of the head with Mason tools and killed him. They take the body and hide it in a shallow grave outside the city. The next day, Solomon sends other fellow craft Masons to look for Hiram and discover his body. They give him a decent burial, and Solomon acknowledges to the remaining Masons that the secret word of the Master Mason has basically died with Hiram and therefore changes it. So there's like a change in history that's being acknowledged here as well. That's like an underlying thing. That whole story is really supposed to be allegory, and I really, in all honesty, my perspective is that these Masons, with doing this like reenactment of this, because that's their initiation ritual, is that the new person is acting as Hiram, and the fellow craft, which are actual other Masons that are around you, hit you in the back of the head because you wouldn't share the secrets. It basically is what it's depicting. Yeah. And then it basically goes through it's their version of like a baptism, because they kill you, bam, they hit you in the back of the head. You're basically dead, and they're enacting like burying you. And then like, I'm not, this is all speculated as far as how this ends, because they're not allowed to talk about what goes on. Yeah. So like, anything could happen. If it's supposed to depict that, then I feel like they're also depicting him coming back out of death and overcoming it because of his morality of not sharing of the secret. You know what I'm saying? And shit like that. That's how I take it. Can I prove that? No, I don't know anybody who's a Mason. If you were to tell me you were a Mason, I'd probably freak out. So I'd be like, do you even know what the hell that shit means? You do? Get the fuck away from me.
I'd be like, hold on. What do you mean?
Right. Well, some people don't.
I mean, you can't talk about it.
Well, some people don't even know. And another thing that I've run across is that there's this movie back in the day called Rosewood.
I sparked up the blood.
Yay, sparking the blood. So there's this movie back in the day called Rosewood, and it's Ving Rhames, and they were telling a story about Rosewood, Florida. Okay, well, basically the white dude did some fucked up shit, went to the Masons to cover for him. The black dude that was also a Mason ended up being the fall guy, and then he turned around and needed them, and they was like, nope, sorry, nigger. You know what I mean? Damn. Because it's not the same. Like, okay, black people can only go so far. Yeah. In this thing, that like, they're never gonna allow a black person to be a 33rd degree Mason, and that's the all knowledge and the secret. Just to let the secret out of the bag. Just to let the secret out of the bag. Like Freemasonry, you're trying to gain all enlightenment or whatever. Really, what you end up learning at the 33rd degree is that the light in which you seek is Lucifer himself. So, like,
is all that real
unscrupulous activity
that you want to put yourself in. Also, remember on Lovecraft, whenever they were doing that too, whenever he like was learning about what his father was doing, and like we need to finish watching that.
Yeah, it
did. You're like, we don't have another show to watch. Yes, we do. Okay. Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
You know that there are actually books. Like Lovecraft is like a
I need to read it.
He's like a horror science fiction type of author type person, and he has kind of a fucked up story. Like the author Lovecraft kind of has a fucked up story. I heard a podcast about it. I need to have a shirt that says I heard this on a podcast.
No, yeah, you totally should. You should. should definitely have that podcast. Or make it.
While the okay, we're jumping back into the info, by the way.
Info.
So, while the Freemasons will tell you that this ceremony is depicting the ceremony of the Hiram Abiff, by the way, is depicting an allegory of the importance of secrecy and standing for your morals in the face of death, the whole thing with its ritual type aspect just screams occult to me.
Occult!
Usually things that are done in secret have a nefarious vibe to them in general, and those we don't understand or care to dive into are simply just told not to look into are categorized as the occult. So that is what we're going to do today. The occult. That wasn't the I was going for. The occult. I'm sure. See how different we read that?
That's how you can tell that text messages can sound different.
Man.
So many ways.
Yes. Actually, just for the audience, we do write a script if you can't tell when we're reading and when we're not.
Definitely can tell.
And so that's to help us and our high brains stay on topic and not be like, ooh, shiny object all over the place.
Because we are ADHD.
To the core. So I wrote on here the occult, period, capital A-A-A-A-H, exclamation point. Agent K decides to read it like, and my meaning was, Okay, anyway. So, the occult. I'm sure images of witches and cauldrons and pentagrams are popping up in your head, and some of you are going to turn away from this podcast or have already, but if you delve just a bit deeper, I promise this connects.
Okay.
So let's start with some etymology. Etymology, by the way, is the study of words. So occult is Latin for hidden or secret, and truly meaning not easily understood. That's it. Full stop. Hidden or secret. That's it. So I'm pretty sure that we can consider math the occult, because I'm sure there's a lot of us that just don't understand it. It's just out there as not easily understood.
It's not.
So we're gonna lump that in as the occult too, okay?
I fucking hate that.
Okay, and since we know that those words hidden or secret by themselves aren't evil, we are gonna go just a little bit further. This term has been used since the 16th century to loosely describe anything dealing outside of the realm of organized religions and even science. Other knowns that fit into the category of the occult are now magic, mysticism, astrology, alchemy, Kabbalah, spiritualism, and even New Age. As time has gone on and less of these ideas are part of the societal norm, things like UFOs, alien contact with the dead, psychics, mediums, Satanists, and any other unknown kind of just get grouped in here. What things are popularly thought of or understood to be occultic is the practice of rituals and hidden use or understandings of dark forces.
Dark forces.
My opinion is that it's only dark because you choose to keep it in the dark, but I digress. People who do choose to go down the path of occult knowledge usually do so as it provides feelings of power and control.
Power and control.
Not solely over oneself, but also of others and their external environment. Like in Fantasia, when Mickey Mouse didn't want to wash the dishes and mop the floors, so he conjured up a spell to make the house work to clean itself.
I'm dead as fuck that you said Fantasia instead of saying
The Sorcerer's Apprentice?
Yeah.
Because it was in Fantasia. That whole Sorcerer's Apprentice with Mickey Mouse, that was in the movie Fantasia. It didn't have a separate. See, you were part of the spell too.
I thought it was
He was that segment in there is called The Sorcerer's Apprentice. But it's not its own movie. Mickey Mouse didn't have its own movie called The Sorcerer's Apprentice.
I haven't seen The Sorcerer's Apprentice.
The Sorcerer's Apprentice that you you saw when you were 6 was the one with Macaulay Culkin and the other guy who was in Tropic Thunder and Nicolas Cage, I think. Jay Baruchel. See?
I feel old now because I didn't realize how old, like older Disney stuff that I was like around when I was younger.
As I'll get into it, remember his position? Oh yeah, he was the sorcerer's apprentice. So Disney put the occult right in front of our faces and our kids' faces. We didn't even jump. We weren't scared. We didn't organize a mob with pitchforks. Why? Because he brought to light something once thought of as dark and gave it a pretty image with some amazing music, and it mesmerized us into the spell that most entertainment does. It is revealing the method in which its magic is done to society. In occult practices, it is important to have a willing or complicit victim or audience. It has more to do with the energy behind it than anything else, but that is way too deep for this episode. Since we, the viewer, are the audience, how are we complicit? Well, we sit there and consume the deception we are being told, and we tend to like the lie. We enjoy the Matrix and all its simulation contained, because to us, that's normal. It's normal to believe in unseen forces of good working in our favor. It's even normal to believe in unseen forces of evil working against us. But what isn't normal is attempting to manipulate the forces into your will. However, that is exactly what has been done to every last person who has ever watched TV, a movie, hell, a damn commercial at this point, who has listened to music or even read a book. Anyone who has ever been entertained. Now, here is the Mac Daddy truth bomb of the day. Are you ready for it? Because it's a big one. The entertainment industry acts as an ambassador for occultism. Mic drop. I'm just gonna give a few moments of silence after I say this one more time. The entertainment industry acts as an ambassador for occultism. The entertainment industry has been the main culprit behind the popularity of the occult since its inception. If you are around my age, you were alive in the 80s and 90s. You are aware of the satanic panic back in the day. I remember it all too well, as I was a latchkey kid whose mom forced me to stay home on Halloween so I wasn't kidnapped and sacrificed under the moonlight.
Yeah.
There were specials on TV, especially Christian TV, but even mainstream. Geraldo Rivera even had a special regarding this. Yeah, all those specials, I had to watch all of them. All of them. This is why I wasn't allowed to do a lot of things when I was growing up. The thing about the satanic panic is that at the time, it was sensationalized to suggest that the only reason that children were kidnapped or sacrificed was to fulfill the will of Satan himself. However, when investigations began and data was revealed, what was found is that this concept wasn't as widespread as they originally thought. More importantly, what was discovered more was ritual sexual abuse. A very small amount is ever attributed to that of the work of Satan, and even more was attributed to organized crime families or just disgusting families in general, and even the church. Yes, I said even the church. This is about the same time of Child Protective Services was being implemented. Politicians, policing, educators, and religious leaders band together to eviscerate the underworld of all this shit. Now, it's time to tie this all to Diddy.
The diddler.
That was a lot of information. So
that was a lot of information. The diddler.
Please take a couple extra puffs.
Hold on.
So, with Puff's history of basically being born from a father in the drug game who later turned into a snitch, and from his humble beginnings at Uptown Records, Puff got to see the life he had always dreamed of in front of him. He tasted the entertainment industry and knew he wanted more of what that led to. The timing of Diddy's rise to fame also coincides with this satanic panic uprising. Now, I'm not insinuating that Diddy is the devil himself, but I am insinuating that this knowledge and action associated with ritual abuse was readily available at the time of Puff's rise to dominance. The ironic thing is that the target of attack for all the satanic undertone was heavy metal music and Dungeons and Dragons role-playing games.
Yeah, the dragons.
Heavy metal got a bum rap due again to the entertainment industry, ambassadoring for the occult. Remember when most rockers would dress up as demons and don upside down crosses, pentagrams, and even be known to bite heads off off animals on stage. Yeah, otherwise known as marketing. The masses were hit in the face with this stuff. And due to the music being acceptable to them, we all took the programming. They targeted heavy metal because they say the lyrics exalt the abuse of women. They talk about anger and violence. They talk about abhorrent sexual behavior. In the piece The Resistance, they are often referring to dying, killing, and suicide. Now, I personally can't confirm or deny this, as all heavy metal music sounds like to me, and I can't really make anything out. But what I can say is if you listen to the majority or watch the majority of hip-hop music or videos today, they have all this same stuff. And remember, the music industry knew what was working in the heavy metal industry. Okay, so, and maybe, just maybe, the entertainment industry and the Illuminati recognize that too. So maybe, just maybe, there was some kind of power-seeking new guy on the scene that could usher in a new, more effective wave of ambassadoring in and desensitizing the masses with occult material, symbols, frequencies, and yes, even rituals.
Ushering.
I did it on purpose. Then magically, Bad Boy Records is formed. Puff. No, I was playing.
Damn. Puff the Magic Dragon.
We are briefly going to talk. I say briefly all the time, and then it's like 20 minutes later.
20 minutes later.
Okay. We are briefly going to talk about two types of sacrifices or rituals that people in positions of power use in occultism to obtain more power. The first one is a blood sacrifice. This is where the blood of an innocent is purposefully spilt. In ancient cultures like the Aztecs, the sacrificers were aware they were chosen to be sacrificed to the gods and saw it as an honor to be chosen, which is much, much different when blood is being spilt to manipulate the weight of power in your favor. And the latter, of course, being the route Diddy chose to use. Usually with a blood sacrifice, it's someone that's close to you that has extreme value to you is the one sacrificed. The point being that the person choosing to do said sacrifice has to be willing to give up the life of someone extremely valuable to them in order to obtain the unobtainable. That sounds like a whole bunch of gobbledygook, but
yeah,
if
but
you
it
back
makes
it up
sense. It makes sense.
And listen to it again, you'll hear what I'm saying. He who has ears, let them hear. No, it's playing. This event I'm going to talk to you about may have in fact been Diddy's initiation event, as well as the catalyst of what we now see before us as the mountain of evidence and allegations continue to build. This event became known as the City College Stampede, which took place December 28th, 1991. While working for Uptown Records, Diddy and Heavy D decided to throw a rap concert disguised as a charity basketball fundraiser. Magic Johnson was a well-known basketball star at the time, and he recently told the news and the public that he was diagnosed with HIV and began advocating for safe sex practices as well as championing research around the disease. Diddy, hearing this news, decided to capitalize on the issue at hand by staying relevant and holding a fundraiser in the name of this moment in history. The first thing I will say about him choosing this moment to do so says a lot retrospectively, like looking back on it. At the time Magic came out, HIV and AIDS was looked at as solely being a gay man disease, and Magic himself was even accused of having gay sex, as that is the only thing the public knew HIV came from. Why would Diddy choose to fundraise this cause in the industry that he was in when it wasn't accepting of it at the time? Message anyway. So, since the diddler is in jail now, families of the victims from this event are speaking out, and there's an article that came out today, and today is the 25th of October. 24th? I'm sorry, the 24th of October. Jumping a day.
Not Friday.
2024. Yeah, okay. And I've looked up information about this event, and the only information that I could ever find is that 9 people got killed in a stampede, but it doesn't really explain the chaos that went on that day. So I'm just gonna read it. Okay, so let me find where it would be. This is basically where I left off. Basically, Magic Johnson came out and they were capitalizing on it. So the young promoter, which is Diddy, who performed as Puff Daddy, booked the school gym downstairs in the science building. building. It was nearly Christmas. Administrators paid little attention while approving the December 28th benefit. Combs said he would handle security, and he went into overdrive promoting the game with appearances on the popular Kiss FM and 10,000 flyers that blanketed Upper Manhattan. Some 1,440 advance tickets were sold at $12 each, while Combs and Heavy D handed out 100 more to friends and other guests. School administrators were unaware the event would feature the biggest names in hip-hop. By 4 p.m. on the 28th, between 1,500 and 2,000 people were already lined up outside the Nat Holman Gymnasium for the 6 p.m. show. The crowd was orderly. Among them were Dirk Swain, a junior at Hampton University in Virginia Beach, and Sonia Williams, a pediatric nursing student at Lehman College in the Bronx. Williams was close friends with Combs' partner at the time. I just realized that it said partner and not girlfriend, and had been coaxed out that evening with a free ticket. At least 500 tickets were sold at the door for $20 as the gym began to fill. Combs' private security firm allowed both pre-sale ticket holders and those buying tickets the day of the event to enter at the same time from 2 lines, leading patrons who'd bought their tickets in advance to worry they wouldn't make it inside. Others were sneaking in without paying. Order was lost, at first slowly and then in a flash. The tension and anticipation descended into pushing and jostling when patrons saw celebrities including Mike Tyson and LL Cool J arrive at a VIP entrance. Police on the scene called for reinforcements. Barricades were toppled, glass was broken, and kids were trampled in the line. Combs security, who were not in uniforms, hadn't been paying attention to crowd control, witnesses said. They at first focused on ticket sales and ensuring only ticket holders made it into the lobby and down a stairwell to the gym, testimony showed. As the unruliness grew, ticket sales abruptly stopped, and one of Combs' associates grabbed the cash box and fled with the head of his security team into the small lobby and down to the gym, pulling the vestibule doors closed behind them as patrons tried to follow. At 6:23 p.m., as fans overwhelmed the cops, Combs security, and the college's rented guards, someone on a police radio said, "They're not people, they're animals."
Oh my god.
I didn't see that part.
I can imagine.
Inside the gym,
that's crazy.
The heavy-set security chief pulled a gun and began shouting racial abuse at the people in the stairwell. He moved a table against the doors as those on the other side pushed and pounded. The 4 doors opened outward into the stairwell. Scores of kids pressed against them, with more arriving every moment, though one door on the far left remained slightly ajar thanks to the prying hands of those at the bottom of the stairs.
Dang.
The table was a barricade to deter anyone who might squeeze through that last door. The gun-wielding security man climbed to the top to give it ballast. An estimated 50 people, aspiring architect Dirk Swain and nursing student Sonia Williams among them, were trapped on the other side when chaos erupted in the lobby and hundreds of kids began pushing their way in, not realizing those downstairs were caught between the mob and the doors. You couldn't go nowhere. This is a quote, by the way. You couldn't go nowhere because people were continuing to come down thinking the gym was open. Frederick Holloway, who'd arrived as a guest of the hip-hop duo Nice and Smooth, later testified, "Just the door and the people, just together, just smacking together."
Oh my gosh.
Actually, I'm gonna read that in a different. Just the door and the people, just together, just smacking together.
That's crazy.
The doors were like a dam. They were holding back the flood of people, Holloway recalled. The surge was so strong that Nicole Levy, who'd come as Combs' guest, told the attorneys that her feet left the floor and never touched the ground again.
Oh my gosh.
The air became thick and some started passing out. Others closer to the slightly cracked door, nearer to its meager supply of air, continued to pound, shouting that they couldn't breathe. Near the top of the deadly scrum, a few fought their way out. Like everyone else above ground, police didn't know of the desperate crush taking place less than 20 yards away. Officer Sean Harris, a 10-year NYPD veteran, had earlier tried and failed to clear the mob from the upstairs lobby before moving back onto the sidewalk. Now he turned to see frantic kids banging on the glass from inside, shouting for oxygen and ambulances. stairs. He muscled his way to the stairwell and saw it was literally wall to wall. You could not get through, he testified. Harris mounted the banister and started a precarious descent onto his until he lost balance and fell onto the packed crowd. The trapped patrons lifted the police officer over their heads and young arms passed him, one to the other, to the bottom of the stairs. He crowd surfed, where he heaved open the cracked door and fell gasping onto the table that had been shoved there as a barricade.
What the fuck is going on?
The first thing Harris saw, Court of Claims Judge Louis Benza later wrote, was Combs standing there with two women, and all three had money in their hands.
What in the fuck is going on?
Combs was stunned by the carnage on the other side of the doors. He later joined. He joined in pulling victims from the stairwell and tried to perform CPR on Williams, his girlfriend's best friend. She didn't make it. Neither did Dirk Swain, also 20, who never regained consciousness, or 7 others aged 15 to 28. He died with his ticket in his pocket, Jason Swain said.
No.
The cause of death for each victim was asphyxia due to compression of the chest. The medical examiner found there wasn't a single broken bone. That means that all the air in their body was pushed out.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Confusion slowed the emergency response. It was 19 minutes before ambulances were dispatched. The police duty captain at first refused to send officers to the gym, believing they were barred from the premises, even as individual cops went down to help the victim.
Wow.
So what the ruling basically said is that the Judge Benza ruled that the college was 50% responsible for the death and injury, and that Combs and Heavy D shared the other 50%. School officials ignored every opportunity to stop the unfolding disaster, he said, while through aggressive ticket sales and promotion, Combs and Heavy D guaranteed a crowd too big to control. Combs would testify he too barely escaped the crush, but Judge Benza waved off his account, noting that none of the other witnesses placed him on the stairs when the havoc broke out. By closing the only open door giving access to the gym, Combs' forces, who were fully aware of the crowd uncontrollably pouring down the stairwell, created something akin to a dike, forcing the people together like sardines, squishing out life's breath from young bodies. That's what the judge wrote. Combs' attorney in the City College litigation declined comment. Heavy D, whose real name was Dwight Myers, died in 2011. No criminal charges were filed. Judge also wrote, it does not take an Einstein to know that young people attending a rap concert camouflaged as a celebrity basketball game who have paid as much as $20 a ticket would not be very happy and easy to control if they were unable to gain admission to the event because it was oversold.
Right. They would get their money back.
So Combs' career took a small dip, and then he started with his own album. As his career soared, Combs appeared to turn his back on the families of the City College victims, said Sonny Williams Jr., Sonia's brother. He literally refused to help me do anything to keep their memories alive, Williams said. In 97, on the Grammy award-winning No Way Out album, Combs shouted out the City College victims while evading responsibility for their deaths in a song called Pain. To the City College deceased, may you rest in peace. To the families, I never meant to cause no pain. I know the truth, but if you want, then I shoulder the blame. Meanwhile, Sonia Williams' family started a small foundation called Sonia Seeds that provided scholarship to nursing students. Combs didn't contribute, her brother said.
Damn.
But after multi-platinum artist Notorious B.I.G. was gunned down in November 97, Sonny Williams Jr. was given the opportunity to join a different charity effort. He received an invitation from Combs' associate to a fundraiser for the Christopher Wallace Memorial Foundation created in the honor of a slain rapper. The price tag, $1,000 a plate.
Hell no.
Always benefiting off somebody's death.
Crazy.
I wanted to read that because it really depicts like the confusion, and also it does show like his responsibility because he oversold it.
Right.
He didn't have accurate security, even though he said he was going to cover security.
Right.
And then also his security team barricaded the doors, and he was standing there with cash in his hand
with two women.
With 2 other women. So like he wasn't even concerned with the crowd at all. And where he was at was where the event was supposed to be held. It wasn't like he was ready for the event and then it was like, where y'all day, and I've been waiting for you all the time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He's just doing him and not
paying attention to the crowd.
Exactly. So, with that being said, going back now to my script after that was depicted, what I will say is Diddy even then never took responsibility and still hasn't for this incident. Diddy also claims to the judge that even friends of his were lost that day, when in reality it was his girlfriend at the time's best friend, and that was close to him who died.
Right.
And as an extreme measure of cowardice, Mr. Combs even fixed his lips to tell the judge that he too almost was crushed, though the judge pushed those words away as no witnesses saw him on the stairs that led to the crushing. 9 people died that day, 9 bodies used as manipulation of power for Diddy to obtain more industry power. This incident may have caused a blip among Combs' sweet-ass roadmap to success, but it also allowed him more of an opportunity to rub heads with bigger snakes in the entertainment field. Shortly after this stampede, the timeline shows that Diddy was hanging out and doing business with moguls on a much higher echelon than he. Since we are revealing to you the Hydra head within the industry, let's look at each of their faces. Clive Davis is the founder of Arista and co-founder of LaFace Records. Lucian Grain is the CEO of Universal Music Group. Rick Rubens helped start Def Jam with Russell Simmons, who also was the founder of Def Jam. And many other private faces that pay money to these creeps to be the faces of these record industries. The stage is set and the Hydra is ready to play. And this is where we get into the most disturbing of all rituals, the initiation. Diddy, with his hands in nearly all record labels dealing in hip-hop, R&B, and soul during his time of unbridled fame, becomes the first welcoming party these bright-eyed artists usually see. He becomes a gatekeeper by pulling back the veil of fame and telling them initiation into the industry goes solely through him. In fact, there is a recent allegation from a boy who was 13 at the time of his interaction with Diddy that indicates Diddy approached him with his dick out and began rubbing on the 13-year-old's crotch, saying everyone in the industry had to go through this, and this is like his initiation. I do not know who this person was. I am not aware if this person went through with the salacious act. The question then becomes, and how many other people did he have access to initiate? We all are aware of Flavor Camp, right? I mean, he used that term with Bieber, but I don't think he had that terminology with Usher. What changed? Access and acceptance of his debauchery is what got the new name, the new brand, so to speak. Another important fact to understand is also that it was never just the artists who were victims or forced into doing nefarious things in the name of the party of the century. It was the models, it was the workers, any and everyone was fair game to Diddy's escapade. Remember when we tied Freemasons to the occult? Well, here it is in real time. An initiation ritual or ceremony is very much so Freemason in nature. However, the act of initiation...
Captain Wick has given us some new growth.
Captain Wick has given us some new. We are smoking a new joint, king-size joint. Yeah. Homegrown.
Homegrown.
It tastes like, on the back end, I can taste like, it's like fruity a little bit.
Yeah, I don't.
Captain Wick with the one-liners.
No, for real.
I don't know if the mic caught it, so he said, how's that for your flavor camp? Remember when we tied Freemasons to the occult? Well, here it is in real time. An initiation ritual or ceremony is very much so Freemason in nature. However, the act of initiation utilizing ritual sex abuse is as occult as it gets. Why was it a ritual? Because we knew when it was occurring. It was occurring at P Diddy's white parties, or his birthday parties, or launch parties. It was just happening at P Diddy's parties, period. It was done with the intent of initiating the victim's path to their dreams of fame and fortune.
It was no way out.
Oh shit, that was another reference to the Bad Boy label.
I don't even do it on purpose.
It just comes out.
Shit.
Now Agent K is gonna talk.
For some, Diddy's name rings with success, blinged out yachts, and more name drops than you can count. For others, though, it screams manipulation, ego, a whole lot of Nah, fam. But here's the kicker. It ain't really about Diddy himself. Nope. The real trip is how we chose to see him. Some of us were rocking with those rose-colored glasses, while others, well, were peering through drama-tinted shades, sipping tea and waiting for the next twist and turn in stories. The allegations stack like receipts at a clothing sale, like how he likes to buy clothes for people. Stop laughing. It's making me laugh.
I'm sorry. Because I'm like, where should I put that 50 cent shit? Dude, what'd you say to me? What? Curtis! Okay, sorry.
Oh my gosh. And suddenly, Sean Combs, the guy who made shiny suits a thing, is looking more like a villain in a blockbuster movie nobody saw coming. Diddy stopped chasing the dream, but crafting the image that he wanted. The kind of image that makes you double tap on an Instagram, that gives you a weird vibe after, and then you you go to the like button actually and unclick the button, like. I do that sometimes. The world didn't play nice, so Sean decided to rewrite the rules, stack the double deck, and bet on himself. Cool, right? Not cool. But here's where the plot thickens. Diddy's addiction isn't your run-of-the-mill fame or fortune. Oh no. He has a different kind of itch. Control and power. It's not just over contracts or companies. We're talking about control that swallows whole...
Swallows! Have you ever been swallowed up? Swallowed! Why did you do that?
What did I do?
You said control that swallows.
That swallows.
Do you know what I'm talking about? TD Jakes now.
Oh, shit. I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
No.
He said, have you ever been swallowed?
Look, I told you I'm a walking meme.
Okay.
I will say things because I grew up on memes.
You can back up a little bit.
I don't even know where I'm going.
Start from...
Oh, swallows.
No, don't start from swallows. Start from not just over contracts and companies.
Okay. Not just over contracts or companies. We're talking about control that swallows up whole cities. I'm not gonna look at you right now. Swallows whole cities. Choose them up and casually ask for dessert.
Cheesecake specifically, if you ever watch Making the Band.
Or Sensational.
That's Future.
I know.
We're not talking about Future. We're talking about Diddy. He sent the whole band to walk.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
To get him a fucking cheesecake, and then that nigga wasn't there for them to deliver it. I would have ate that.
I would have ate that.
Cheesecake.
All of it. All of it.
They would have sent me home.
I'd have been like,
you got sent home because you ate Diddy's cake.
I don't give a fuck.
That's what my claim to fame would have been. That. Yeah, I ate this cake and I'll do it again.
I sure eat the cake. I will walk there my damn self, eat the whole cake there.
I would have ate it walking back because this was before Uber and Lyft.
I would have been so pissed.
I was pissed watching the show. I was like, how fuck, what the hell, nah?
You got a fucking balls to tell me that I'm about to go walk my ass to go get some goddamn cheesecake.
You know what? If me and you were to rewatch that, we would probably pick out some things that was like, yeah, he was showing his true colors then. Mm-hmm. But because reality shows, they're
editing
those stupid
things out.
No, and not only that, but they always had those stupid like trials that they had to do.
Yes,
and most of the trials, we were like, that's kind of mean, like with the stuff that he was doing. But like, we were like, oh,
that's
this
his
is just
personality. That's what he wanted.
But we're looking at it as like, oh, that's just the format of these shows.
Yeah. Okay.
Same thing with Trump, because even the dude who produced The Apprentice was like, we made him look smarter and better than what he was because of editing and shit like that.
Of course.
And we all knew that because that's what you do.
Because
anyway,
motherfucking Sebastian Stan is fine as fuck. Why are they gonna have him him. I get it. Go ahead, do you, boo. Get your money. Get your coins.
I think that we should watch it.
I'm going to watch it because it's Sebastian Stan.
And I bet you, supposedly everybody's like, you don't even tell that he's like method playing the fuck out of that shit or something. I don't know. Anyway.
It's going to be interesting.
Let's talk about Diddy. Let's get into it.
Okay. Anyway, Sean Diddy Combs is a narcissist who can barely keep his mask intact without a team of PRS experts and loyalists scrambling behind to hide his chaos from the public. A destruction behind the carefully curated image. There's a darker side, like the suppressed video from 2016 showing Diddy assaulting Cassie Ventura in a hotel hallway. The clip most haven't seen unless you care about this case, obviously. He's shown dragging her to the ground, kicking at her, as well as him chasing her around at the hotel hallway. How no one came out to help her shocks the fuck out of me.
Well, it was probably on the whole level by himself.
Yes, but like no hotel security, like you're looking at the cameras and you're like, oh, there's something wrong, you know?
I mean, they might not have been looking at the cameras is the thing. But they ended up recording it and looking back at it at that time.
That's crazy.
I mean, I don't know. I wasn't there. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
I'm only saying that because of the types of hotels that he be at. You know, you would think that there's this type of security always watching cameras.
That type of security is also paid off.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what I'm linking. I'm hinting at.
Oh, sorry. I'm slow.
Chronic cream is slow.
Shit. I'm surprised I wasn't in special class.
Shut up. Here you go.
I smell brownie.
What? As well as wait. Hotel shotgun me. Okay. Only because my high morals, I wouldn't be paid off. That's what I was saying. Because if I was watching a video on security cameras, I wouldn't want to be paid off just to see. Like, bitch, you hit that woman.
Well, you would have been killed.
If I was a security guard, I think I would have been shot. I'm an armed security guard.
You don't know that. You was a security guard not being armed.
I said, yeah, that was promises that were supposed to happen for me to be armed. Okay? There was promises of me to be armed and trained. And then what happened?
I know.
Anyway.
How many other tapes
are buried, shielding this true nature from the masses? And then there's Kim Porter, his former girlfriend, whose death many believe wasn't a coincidence.
No such thing as coincidence.
Only synchromysticism.
We didn't even talk about that.
I know we didn't.
Oh my god. Okay.
No, but we're not going to talk about it. It's implied.
With all the other shit that I was talking about is implied.
If you want to look up, do your research, okay? Anyway, where was I? Stories of her having a tell-all book of his abuse towards her and more are well known, leading to the chilling theory shared by many that Diddy played a role in her death, possibly making her sick with pneumonia.
It's pneumonia.
It's pneumonia. Every time I read it, I say pneumonia. Mm-hmm. Okay, pneumonia-like symptoms. Strange.
All
right, let's get into the real laundry list of accusations about Sean Combs. Nasty. We're talking about SA and rape and blackmail and sex trafficking, racketeering, and wait for it, infamous laced baby oil.
Man, the crazy thing to me is like, who would have thought to lace baby oil? And not only that, but how much baby oil do you have to put on in order for you to get like high to the point where you're like fucking forgetting shit and passing out?
Enough.
Apparently 1,000 bottles.
Why did you steal my thunder on that one? To answer that, because I was like, 1,000 is what it took for the bed to come up in there and be like, what the fuck?
1,000 baby oil bottles is never enough. Not Luther. I fucked up Luther, y'all.
Lord. Yep.
I just don't wanna stop, never to, but.
Oh my god.
That's what
That's
Diddy
crazy.
said. Okay.
That's crazy. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Yep. The man allegedly stocked 1,000 bottles of baby oil.
It's crazy.
For his freak-offs. Probably thinking no one would ever put two and two together, because he thinks we stupid.
Wait, but the funny thing about that when that shit was reported is that his lawyer tried to spin it saying maybe he buys it wholesale.
In stock at Costco. And Costco tap in and say what?
We don't even sell baby oil.
What the hell?
That's the first clapback was that we don't even sell baby oil. The second thing is like, I've never heard of any celebrity being like, yeah, so our Sam's Club card.
Yeah, no. What the fuck?
Like, we go in and we go
get
buy shit in wholesale all the time.
Baby oil. We get wholesale baby oil.
I mean, he does have enough business ventures where he could have bought a case of Johnson Johnson baby oil.
Now that we know it's laced, it's a different story.
Exactly.
We know what you use that shit for. Diddy didn't just create a toxic environment. He set a stage for puppets who wanted to be like him and wanted to continue this cycle of abuse. Sean has said there are types of everyone in the industry gone to these parties or at his house, period. That means politicians and models and radio hosts probably, or
basketball players,
football players, baseball players, golf players, anybody.
The
Olympics. Boxers, all of that shit.
All that shit,
Just keep that shit in mind.
Yeah, keep it in mind.
Many people have been silenced in many ways, and you could think, that you could think of in the worst ways, the easy ways that you could think of, which is money.
I mean, just recently there was, super recently, like in the past couple of days, there was somebody who fell to their death. So there's a many way
linked
of
to pink cocaine. That was also linked to the diddler.
Yeah, well, you haven't talked about that yet. You just talked about the lace baby oil. So
I did, but that was in the
yes, but pink. So did you? Are you explaining that?
I'm at a justice.
Oh, that's what you're about to read an article.
Yes.
Okay, this article comes from
thejustice.gov.
Damn.
Yeah, that's what I said. I was like, ooh, this is crazy. There's too many.
There's
about to be not too much.
Oh shit! I thought you were like, damn. There's too many cases.
No.
Damn, bitch. See, I'm starting rumors over here. That ain't what you said. Go ahead. I'm sorry. It ain't my part to talk. Go ahead.
No, talk. So according to the indictment unsealed today, from at least 2008 through the present, Combs,
Miami Herald, AR-15s drug and 1,000 bottles of lube freak-off supply found in Diddy's mansion raids. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that you remember they had the big old slip and slide.
Yeah.
And
does that have baby oil?
Probably.
52 years old. 54, sorry.
If he was born in 69, he should be 55, or is about to.
20 they came out and filed after Cassie. Each stories basically said the same thing about, what he was doing and what the people around were doing. Even the people hiring, they were just Sean, through internal Sean.
The unmasked version.
Yeah. Who's always been violent, with young impressionable people, as you can't only say men or women, too many. And as I said, there's at least 120 victims, and mainly they're all coming out. I'm only saying allegedly because,
it just hasn't been proven in the court of law yet.
Exactly. Not that I don't believe in, but, or we don't believe, but, it's just all these stories, if you read any of the articles, such as the cut about it, and you go in, there's a lot.
Liza Gardner.
I don't know who that is. Filed a lawsuit saying that a friend met singer-songwriter Aaron Hall at an MC record event in records event in 1991 or 91, and they returned to Hall's apartment for an after party where Gardner said she was offered more drink and was forced to have sex. She says Holmes also assaulted her friend. The lawsuit claims the encounter left Gardner shocked and traumatized, and as she got dressed, Hall allegedly barred into the room, pinned her down, and forced her to have sex. Gardner claims that Combs came into the home she shared with her friend a few days later and allegedly attacked her again. He came into the the house looking for the friend because he was worried she would tell the girl he was with at the time, according to this.
Crazy.
That is crazy.
I never heard that. That's new. Thanks, the cut.
Right. Another complaint, Joy Dickerson Neal alleged that in 1991 again, she reluctantly went on a date with Combs, intentionally drugged her, and sexually assaulted her after their dinner. She claims that Combs recorded the assault and showed the tape to people. While Dickerson Neal did not go to the authorities immediately after the alleged assault, she said she did eventually file a police report with unspecified agencies in New York. The complaint says prosecutors told her that they need to corroborate her allegation, but she believed possible witnesses were terrified that Combs would retaliate against them and then they would lose future business and music opportunities if they made a statement backing her.
Dang, so we had everybody in the box.
A spokesperson for Diddy said that the two women's claims are fabricated and accused them of exploiting the Adult Survivors Act. Jane Doe filed another lawsuit December 6, alleging Combs, longtime Lieutenant Harvey Pierre, and the third identified assaultant trafficked her across state lines from Detroit to New York City and gang raped her at Combs' Manhattan recording studio in 2003 when she was 17 years old. Pierre, who previously served as a president at Combs' Bad Boy Entertainment, had also been sued for former assistant who alleged he used his position of authority as plaintiff's boss to groom, exploit, and sexually assault her several times between. So obviously, all these stories literally say that.
But the next one is the one that Lil Rod is talking about, so
okay.
I think that's important because his name keeps coming up.
Oh, okay. In February, Combs' former producer and videographer filed a federal lawsuit against the mogul alleging Combs sexually harassed, drugged, and threatened him. According to the lawsuit, Rodney Lil Rod Jones worked on Combs' most recent album, Love, and lived with him between September 2022 and November 2023. Jones alleges he was the victim of consistent, unsolicited, and unauthorized groping and touching of penis by Mr. Combs.
Oh my God.
On one occasion, the lawsuit claims Jones woke up naked and disoriented on the bed with Combs and two sex workers. The complaint also claims that in his role as Combs' videographer, Jones secured hundreds of hours of footage and audio recordings of Combs and his staff and his guests engaging in serious illegal activities. That includes acquiring drugs and sex workers, providing lace drinks to minors, sexual assault. Jones' suit names several other defendants, including Combs' son Justin Combs, Chief of Staff Christina Parham, Universal Music Group CEO Sir Lucian Grange, and former Motown Records CEO
Ethiopia Habtemariam.
Combs' lawyer Sean Hawley denied Jones' allegation. In April, a separate lawsuit was filed against Combs' son Christian Combs, in which a woman alleged that 26-year-old drugged her and sexually assaulted her on a yacht chartered by the music mogul in the December 2022. The suit also named Combs as a defendant. In her complaint, Grace O'Marque, I'm sorry, I'm slaughtering these names, man, accused the rapper of aiding and abetting his son, O'Marque, who worked on the yachts as a steward, and claimed she witnessed partying and drug use between celebrities in constant rotation of suspected sex work.
Man, in May, another suit was filed in federal court by Crystal McKinney, who alleges Combs forced her to perform oral sex on him in 2003. The lawsuit was brought under the New York City's Victims of Gender-Motivated Violence Act, which gives survivors a 2-year look-back window to file civil claims against their alleged abusers after the statute of limitations has passed. Combs has yet to comment on the allegation. Also in May, April Lamprose filed a suit against Combs, accusing him of drugging and assaulting her over several years, beginning in 1995. Per NBC, Lamprose claimed she first met Combs in 1994 when she was a student at the Fashion Institute of Technology. She alleges that the next year she met up up with him at a bar and gave in to pressure from Combs to drink because of his delusional and violent outburst. After a few sips, Lampros felt uneasy and says she was guided into a car that took her and Combs to a hotel where he forcibly kissed and grabbed her. Despite her telling him to stop and saying that she felt unwell, Miss Lampros was being raped by Mr. Combs and she soon passed out. The lawsuit claims Lampros says that after the incident, Combs wooed her back by sending lavish gifts and flowers. Per NBC, the lawsuit includes a photo of a handwritten Valentine's Day card signed from Puffy. Combs allegedly assaulted Lampros for a second time later in 95 and a third time in 96, forcing her and his then girlfriend Kim Porter to take ecstasy and have sex with one another. Lampros says that she vocally opposed this idea, but Combs reminded her that he could make her lose her job, the suit claimed. Lampros claims that Combs watched the woman while he masturbated before sexually assaulting her. That's crazy.
Another accuser, Derek Lee Cardello Smith, sued Combs, alleging that the producer drugged and sexually assaulted him at a party in Detroit in 1997. Cardello Smith, says that he met Diddy while working at a restaurant. The men allegedly went to a party where they met at a group of women and later had sex with them. The lawsuit claimed that Combs offered Cardello Smith a drink, which he believes was he alleges he passed out and woke up to the producer having sex with women and telling him, "I did this to you too."
Oh my God.
Cardello Smith was convicted of sexual misconduct in a separate case and is currently incarcerated at a preliminary hearing conducted virtually in August. He testified that Combs offered him $2.3 million in exchange for dropping the lawsuit. He rejected the settlement offer. He also produced prison visitation records showing Combs' name on September 9th. Combs failed to show up to a virtual hearing on the case. As a result,
the Nottoway County Circuit Court Judge Anna Marie Anzalone
awarded Cardello Smith a $100 million default judgment to be paid in $10 million installments. $10 million installments. That's great. Being in October,
Anzalone, that's the judge.
Anzalone later set aside the judgment after Combs legally successfully argued that Cardello Smith did not serve the law. In accordance with Michigan law, Smith's allegations date back to 1997 and are well outside the statute of limitations lawsuit. That's unfortunate.
That's crazy because it doesn't say that he didn't do that shit.
Right, exactly. It just says that he was trying to pay it off.
No. I mean, that too, but like, we've already seen that from him because he did that with Cassie. But like, basically this judgment is basically being reversed because of a technicality. Like, he probably missed one piece of paper, or they're saying that it's outside the statute of limitations or whatever.
In September, Don Richard, a former member of the group Danity Kane, Danity Kane, JT, I think it is Danity Kane, filed a federal lawsuit against Combs, accusing him of sexual battery, harassment, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and unlawful imprisonment. In her complaint, Richard painted the picture of Combs as an explosive boss who manipulated her over the course of a decade, making her believe that abuse and exploitation were required for a female artist to succeed in the music industry. She accused Combs of groping her and retaliating against her when she denied his advances. Richard also claimed she witnessed the producer abusing Cassie on multiple occasions. Combs' lawyer Erica Wolf has denied the allegation in a statement to Variety. She accused Richard of manufacturing a series of false claims in the hopes of trying to get a date. That's all they can do. Another accuser, Talia Gray, files a federal lawsuit against Combs following his arrest. She alleges that the producer and his bodyguard Joseph Big Joe Sherman raped her in 2001. Both men denied the allegations. According to the complaint, Graves was 25 and dating one of Combs' employees at Bad Boy Records when the music mogul reached out and asked to meet to discuss her boyfriend's employment. She says Combs and Sherman picked up Graves at her mother's home in Queens when she entered the car, and the rapper offered her a glass of wine that she now believes was laced. Graves says she began to feel lightheaded, dizzy, and physically weak after just a few sips. When they arrived at the studio, she found it difficult to walk. The studio claims once they reached a private room, Graves lost consciousness on the couch, and when she later came to, she was naked and her hands were tied behind her back.
Oh my God.
The lawsuit alleges that Combs proceeded to violently rape her to the point she vomited, defecated, passed out again. When she regained consciousness, she says that Sherman forced her to perform oral sex, and she then passed out. When she woke up, she was alone and escaped the studio. The lawsuit says Graves claims that she didn't report the assault because she was scared of Combs' power, and over the years, he and Sherman warned her to stay silent. And that November 2023, 22 years after the alleged assault, Graves says she learned that the rape had been videotaped and the two men had showed the recording to other people. She claims she had been become suicidal, discovering this in Graves seeking undisclosed damage. Of course, in October.
The crazy thing is that it keeps going, and like that's probably on the little.
Dude, do you see this like line right there?
That's what I'm talking about.
It's not even. There's so much going on. In October, anonymous user filed a federal lawsuit.
Whoa, stop it. In October, 11 anonymous accusers filed federal lawsuits against Combs in the Southern District of New York, accusing the entrepreneur of sexually assaulting men as a 16-year-old boy and a 13-year-old girl. The alleged incidents include two at Combs' infamous white parties occurring between 1995 and 2022. Jane Doe says that in 1995 she met Combs at a music video after party where she allegedly violently struck her, slamming her head against the wall, causing her to fall to the floor and rape her. John Doe accuses Combs of sexually assaulting him at a white party in the Hamptons in 1998 when he was just 16 years old. A separate anonymous complaint alleges that Diddy raped a 13-year-old girl at an after party for the 2000 VMAs, with one unnamed male celebrity participating in the assault and a unnamed female celebrity watching it happen. Yet another, Jane Doe, says she was 19 when she and a friend attended a photo shoot and an after party at Combs' hotel in 2004, where she alleged that the rapper ordered her friend to perform oral sex on him or else he would have them both killed. That's crazy.
Get the point.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Okay? Damn it.
I mean, and it still keeps going on and on.
Literally, I didn't finish. I didn't even get to half.
Like, seriously, that was...
Like, I touched the tip of half, because there's a lot more.
This is the next thing he remembers is being in a bedroom and feeling paralyzed. He alleges that he was raped by at least 3 men, including Combs, but at one point the plaintiff says stood above him naked. That's crazy. But John Doe claims that the rapper exposed himself and groped him at a promotional party for a Ciroc vodka brand. An unnamed personal trainer alleges that during a party at Combs' Hollywood Hills home 2022, the music mogul and an unnamed celebrity forced him to give them oral sex. Afterward, the personal trainer alleges that other attendees assaulted him as they passed plaintiff's body around like art favor for their sexual enjoyment. And an unnamed independent artist alleges she was drugged and raped by Combs at a party that same year after struck up a conversation with her about her music career. Combs has denied all allegations. Mr. Combs and his legal team have full confidence in their legal defenses and the integrity of the judicial process. Rapper's lawyers said in state in court the truth will prevail that Mr. Combs has never sexually assaulted anyone, adult or minor, man or woman. One lawsuit claims Combs groomed his accuser to pass him off to his friend and traded on his celebrity name.
Also involves Cuba Gooding Jr.
Yeah, that's what in his suit. Jones says that he feared Combs was grooming him, and that fear became a reality when Cuba Gooding Jr. allegedly assaulted him during an outing in the music mogul yacht. An amended version of the lawsuit filed in late March and Gooding attended. The lawsuit also says that Combs' circle enabled his behavior in order to have access to celebrities that he knew and socialized with. Mr. Combs was known for throwing the best party. The suit reads, affiliation with and or sponsorship of Mr. Combs' sex trafficking party garnered legitimacy and access to celebrities such as famous athletes, political figures, artists, musicians, and international dignitaries like British Royal Prince Harry. The complaint does not include any allegations of wrongdoing against him. And then this is when all his properties were raided.
Finding all the baby oil.
And then Combs is now facing charges of racketeering and sex, which is like the two, like everything else doesn't even matter. If those things get on him because of how hefty the sentences are. Several reports have outlined additional allegations of abusive behavior.
Sweeping 14-page indictment.
men. Okay.
14.
Okay, that's crazy.
Okay.
Those were just some of Diddy's essays.
You know, because he's done a lot throughout the years.
I mean, he's had a long reign.
Time for him to go away now.
Yeah, which in May, I guess we'll find out if he's going to go away or they're going to push it back or they're going to say, hey, we need more evidence or what.
I don't know. Anyway, and so here we are again. John Diddy Combs, a man wrapped in fame, fortune, and let's be honest, a never-ending swirl of drama. Because when you're that big, why wouldn't the rumors and whispers stick to you like designer label that you like?
Sure, tonight's headline might fade by tomorrow, but don't worry, they'll be back. They always are. In a world where the spotlight never dims, the truth and the tea spill faster than the PR team can clean up. But then again, maybe Diddy likes it like that, keeping us all guessing, watching, waiting.
So, do we get to the bottom of the mystery? Nah, probably not. But that's the game, isn't it? In the world of fame, reality is just another story to be spun, and who needs answers when the drama is like that?
Maybe we'll never know the full truth, or maybe, just maybe, the truth is that the mystery is part of the act. After all, even the brightest stars come with their fair share of shade, and once again, you found yourself tangled in it, in the petty corners of the
Diddler Zone.
The Diddler Zone.
This is the conclusion of our episode today on High Thoughts by Eddie Green.
If you enjoy any of our content, please subscribe to our podcast. We are available on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, and pretty much anywhere else you can listen to your podcast.
You heard?
You heard?
Please take a look down at our show notes and give us a follow on the social media as well. And, we look forward to sharing some smoke time with all of our listeners. So,
deuces.